he does like to stream his grinding, his learning. He's doing quizzes, just playing different modes. He's like really the grinder, and yeah, as we see him being placed that far high up, it does pay off. And we start the game right here in Indonesia. A lot of signs. You usually don't like that because you don't usually know which sign to look at. It can be a bit overwhelming.
And Pan is going a very specific island here, so he definitely has seen something here, because I didn't even know that island had coverage, so...
Yeah, it's possible. It looks kind of sandy, which is a good clue for Batam and those islands.
It turns out to just be Batam.
Batam, yeah. Interesting. Especially interesting that we didn't have any sign with Batam written. Because I feel like in downtown Batam you would have Batam written more frequently than we had on our location.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
They just kept it on the low a bit. And I think this is the mountain northeast of Accra. There's not a lot of like mountains in Ghana really. And one of them, like very distinct mountains, is just outside Accra. So I kind of like where Pan is looking right now. Seems like he instantly saw that mountain and was like, yep, that is here. Meanwhile, we have Harrier just being on the map a bit, lining up the road and just trying to find it.
Yeah, definitely if you see some mountains, you're usually south of Kumasi or north of Accra or northeast of Accra along that Togo border. It's really only the places where you get higher mountains in Ghana. So you kind of have to decide whether to go south of Kumasi or north of Accra.
And seems like Pan has found his lineup. Will he be on it? I mean, that is quite literally on it. 5k.
Definitely, that is a 5k indeed. In Ghana, using the mountains, I would assume, to get the right road there.
And another car.
We have another car. This time we don't have a tape on it. Therefore, we do consider a couple more countries with the looks here and with the mirrors visible. Guatemala is the right country here. Also with the red painted bottom poles. It's also a good clue for Guatemala in case you can't see the car or don't want to use it. There's always other stuff to use. Region guessing it can be kind of difficult.
But both of them clicked a bit east of Guatemala City, and it ended up being east, so...
Yeah, that's already very good to know on which side we are. And we are in Japan again. We
this
have
time
a gray plate. We should be in Kanto, the region around Tokyo here. And we have that guess from Pan. Let's see if Harrier will also end up there. He does indeed. You could line up the mountains as well, if you really want to.
And seems like Pan has just done that without, a lot of effort. Just clicking there, 11 kilometers, not bad. So far flawlessing Harrier in this moving game, but multipliers, Harrier knows a lot of stuff. Anything can happen.
That is true, and we are in Switzerland. With the language, we know that the German spoken language is more in the north of the country.
It was French.
With French, you are more in the southern and southwestern part. And
Good.
We had some French on the sign, therefore we consider the south or the southwest or far west.
True. There was actually a trilingual sign there. It was German, French, and Italian. Very interesting.
Oh, maybe we are further south then, but Pan is committing towards far west.
I like
I
the
don't know if
guess.
you would get Italian there. Do you get Italian far
I mean,
west?
it's just a very random trilingual sign. Maybe just for official purposes, it has to be in 3 languages.
Because close to Italy, I feel like we would get way higher mountains and spiky alpine mountains. Whereas the northwest has more of these slight hills. And we move over to this round. We have yellow road lines, which puts you in the Americas usually, also a little bit in Asia. And this time again we had a white signpost. But this time it definitely was a white signpost, not a imaginary one as we had earlier on the Manitoba round.
And Harrier instantly locking in on a road. Maybe he knows something.
Or, yeah, it looks a bit more northern. But we have Alberta guess from Pan. It was indeed Saskatchewan. Northern half as well, and that's some very good points.
Big strike back there by Harrier, and if he gets even closer on that location and pins it down, that would almost be game. Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, multipliers plus Harrier knows a lot. It's a scary combination.
Indeed, and this time again we have this red tint, and this time I think it is up there. Given the looks, we shouldn't be inland with those greeny mountains.
Yeah, Harrier has a road number.
Polokwane, always a good guess.
Ooh,
shout out to Zigzag, the red road goat, and that will close out the game.
Just 2 rounds, that's all Harrier needs.
It really took him 2 good rounds there to turn this game around. So Pan isn't really happy about that one, especially given that he really played well after until this round. Yeah,
Pan kind of caught off guard there in the Canada round, just an insta-guess by Harrier. Maybe he knows the coverage. I mean, it was Gen 3, so definitely knowable. And then the ZA, Pan tried to put on the pressure, but it didn't work out. As we go into Australia with snow?
Yeah, I mean, with snow, I only really consider what? Victoria. Does Tasmania have? Because it's so hilly, it looks like Tas, but we have snow. Yeah. I don't know if there's snow coverage, but by the looks I would say it okay.
Whoa.
It was Victoria. And not only Victoria, also very, very good guess within Victoria. Of course, with mountains, you only really consider the eastern half, but still, Pan right on it. Starting off strong again in this match.
Yeah, definitely knowing where the pockets with snow coverage are in a country like Australia, where it's pretty rare to see snow. There's some in Tasmania, but it's usually very slight. A lot of coverage in like the Victoria New South Wales border, in those alpine national parks have some snow. But let's focus on this round. We have very bad pavement, and it looks Eastern European.
I mean, not much to talk here. We also had some Cyrillics on the door. With Cyrillic language, you can rule out a lot, and it is just in Sofia, in some suburb.
Yeah, Harrier breaking the flawless here. I mean, it was only 1 round, but it was a pretty good guess by Pan. If that was a multiplier round, that would have been pretty devastating, but Harrier can be lucky to not have lost that much health, and meanwhile, I mean, it's just the freest road in all of Iceland, right?
First Iceland round we have today. Is it the southern road? It looks like the... What was the town called? Vik?
Vik?
Yeah, it is Vik. It could be the mountains around Vik in the southern span. But I am
Pan
not
seems quite
sure.
confident here. He's lining up this road, and it also looks pretty good. So
yeah,
definitely
Iceland
could be there as well.
We have seen a lot of games being decided on Iceland.
With the new coverage,
in this league, with the new coverage. And it was the southern span, not around Vik, but we'll take the southern guess there. And that's some good points, a good strike back from Harrier. Getting the right road. Getting the right road is quite the shout in Iceland.
There's like 1 road going around the whole country pretty much. So if you have a somewhat built up road, it will probably build that one, or a highway in downtown Reykjavik.
It's still always nice to say you got the right road. Just for the mental. And we are back to Ukraine. Again, a round where I would say there's no strong clue.
I would say the soil looks slightly red. No, maybe not. Actually, maybe not.
It looks very generic to me.
Yeah, my guess would have been south as well, just by the looks, but very hard to say why.
And it turns out to be in the eastern half again. So maybe east is the go-to guess if there's no strong clue.
It's also just very risky to guess there, because there are some pockets of coverage, but the rest is really not covered. I mean, between like Kharkiv and Donetsk, there's nothing. Between Dnipro and Donetsk, there's just no coverage at all.
Yeah, definitely not that much coverage in the east. Therefore, always a risk you have to take. And we are in Indonesia now. We have those black license plates where you get 3 sections of white text on it. If there's 3 white sections, you are in Indonesia. If there are 2 white sections, you are in Malaysia. Pretty good to know if you don't have anything else to work with besides a license plate. And with the tiled roofs, you consider Java more, usually. However, it's looking quite weird for Java.
Yeah, I can't tell whether this is Java, South Kalimantan, or Lampung. I'm kind of torn between those three. Doesn't seem like a Lampung roof, but the rest fits.
Yeah. I like the South Kalimantan guess as well. Very possible with that landscape, and it is indeed. He is happy about that.
In the right city there. I mean, he probably just clicked the biggest city, Banjarmasin or whatever it's called, but pretty risky guess there. I mean, because if it is not Kalimantan, I mean, if it's not in that city, it will definitely not be Kalimantan, because you only really get tiled roofs in the south, and the other options would be Java and Sumatra, so pretty confident guesser by Pan.
Yeah, definitely. In Indonesia, you're always pretty much forced to commit with all those big body of waters between all the islands, which will automatically give you way more points if you are right. You're kind of forced to commit, of course. There are a lot of players who are known to click in the water. There's one name in mind I have immediately, which is Armani. Armani loves to guess in the waters. We have seen Zigzag doing a lot of water guesses here and there. Always possible.
Yeah.
Never to blame them for that one. But yeah, committing usually will give you a lot of points. As we saw there. But going over to the NMPZ mode right now, we are in round 2 already. Nothing happened yet.
Yeah, and this just seems like a very easy round as well, right?
Yep, definitely. Again, we have, as I said earlier, if you have the mountain ridge moving towards the southeast, it's more likely to be in the northern span of Oman. However, it's a pretty long span. They are still trying to line something up.
It's very hard to line something up.
Nothing to blame, but I think Harrier is actually in the UAE. Maybe because we don't see a car, but we are looking at the back, therefore it's just hidden.
Yeah, there is some coverage there where he guesses with New Gen 4. It would be the normal black car instead of like a pickup. It is possible in UAE, but yeah, he was not happy about the guess because we saw his reaction after. He's like, okay, that was probably pretty easy, not sure why I went UAE, but we have the grass in the middle in the road, Ireland.
Hey, you see some grass in the middle of the road, you just click Ireland, and in the best case, you guess 4.6 kilometers off the exact pin, as Harrier did. Yeah, we will take that.
By
no
his reaction,
points,
he was like, yep, sure, why not?
We will take that one for sure. And on to the next round, we are driving on the right. It looks Asian, therefore driving right. Should be in the Philippines.
Big city. Manila.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Probably. Most likely. Couple other cities possible, but if you go by the chances, you don't wanna try something funny, you will end up around there. And it is indeed, and we have a water guess. Or is he on the port?
I mean, I'm not. I think he just clicked from space, and that's why he ended up there. But
that is very fair. Very, very fair.
Don't think we have to take that too seriously, as we have the famous Huelva trees.
Huelva trees.
They can also
be.
You can
also have them north of Balaguer, those trees.
Yeah, and you can also get them near Mersin. Just saying, but
just saying.
I think this should be Spain. But we did see a round where Mu went Valladolid, and it was Valladolid. But usually I associate these trees with very far south in Spain, around Huelva. But who really knows?
The Huelva trees.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh, switch, and it was Huelva. Far south, and that's...
Oh, he stays alive with 115 HP. And this is where it's coming down to those small points.
Oh, but big countries.
He could have gained here and there, and now he's looking back, and now he's thinking, I should have really guessed Manila. Not that it have mattered, but if you do that a couple of times, you can collect a sweet 115 points.
I mean, Harrier got the maximum out of the Ireland round.
On a round like this, I think Pan is happy to get this round.
Yeah.
Because he can definitely turn it around here. This can be a lot of sections along the north in the US.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
I could
know.
see this from being from Iowa all the way to New York.
Yeah, I can see this being like Wisconsin even. This is... It's pretty hard to say. The grid not being north-south directly makes me more think about east, but it's very hard to say. And it's not even the US.
It is Canada. It is Ontario.
Nobody
Good way
guessing
to
there.
pick up a couple points, but hey, if he would have guessed Ontario, if he would have picked up the right country, that could have been game.
And this is not something... This is not something Pan wants to see, because this is just roulette whether he stays alive or not. He is committing, though. He is committing north.
I mean, I would still be happy if I'm Pan to get a country that's not that easy to reach and guess. To know there is still a chance, but I think
That's
that
enough.
should definitely be enough. It is barely. And Harrier is picking up the win. What a game. What a game.
I mean, I called it 12 trees, guys.
Yeah,
Put your notepads out. Technically, I also called that on a round, and Moo ratioed me the hell out of it because he did go via the lead and it was there, and that's where Pan was initially. So he was thinking about that round that we had on stream with Moo. But that's just a theory by me. But other than that, I always go whoever there, just by the trees. But very well played by Harrier. You know, just that one